Testimony continues later this morning in the trial of former Uvalde CISD police officer Adrian Gonzales. More witnesses who survived that attack at Robb Elementary are expected to take the stand.
Reporter Rania Kerr shows us how one teacher describes chaos and confusion on that sad day in May of 2022.
This morning we'll begin with what was arguably the most emotional testimony of Monday. Prosecution and defense will continue questioning the sole survivor of the classrooms that were targeted in the shooting. In room 111, Arnulfo Reyes had turned on a movie for his 14 students before horror erupted.
What did you see?
A black shadow.
And what was the black shadow doing?
The black shadow was holding a gun, and I know that he was holding a gun because I just saw the fire come out of the gun.
Reyes taking gunfire before the shooter targeted his kids.
He hit me on my arm, and that's when I fell to the ground. And then after I fell to the ground, he came around and he shot the kids.
His testimony wrapping up day 6 of another difficult day in the Nueces County courtroom, which began with 3 Texas Rangers taking the stand. The prosecution believes former Uvalde CISD officer Adrian Gonzales failed to act and concentrated on his training.
So when an officer hears shooting but can't see shooting, what does the officer do?
Runs to the shooting.
His training is definitely, the standards are set to isolate, distract, and neutralize.
Defense has maintained that Gonzales acted with what he knew, with defense attorney Nico LaHood even using a foam orange handgun to discuss tactics.
I know what you meant by it, because a police officer that's dead is no good to anybody, right?
That's correct.
Victims' families were in the courtroom Monday when graphic images and even surveillance video of the shooting was shown. They'll be in the courtroom again this morning at 9 a.m. when court resumes in the Nueces County Courthouse. I'm Rania Kaur, sending it back to you.
Also covering this trial closely since day 1 is our very own Lexis Greene.
That's right. She joins us live from the Nueces County Courthouse with what we can expect today. Lexis, good morning.
Good morning, Barbie. Good morning, John Thomas. We are here outside of the Nueces County Courthouse for the second week in the Uvalde trial. Now, Monday picked up where it left off on Friday. We did hear testimony from 3 Texas Rangers, as well as the sole survivor of one of those classrooms that was targeted at Robb Elementary School. We're talking about Arnulfo Reyes. He was day 6 of another difficult day inside of the Nueces County courtroom. He was a teacher who lost every single one of his students that day. Now, he described the horrific events that unfolded, and he says that he protected them in the only way he knew possible, which was to tell them to cover their eyes so they didn't see what was happening. Monday's evidence was no different than last week. There was graphic and violent images shown. There was also surveillance video. One of the Uvalde victims' parents actually taking to social media, upset that his daughter's autopsy photos were being shown to the jury in fear that they could be leaked. Now, the trial will pick up again this morning at 9 a.m. There is less media out here, but just a note, if you are headed downtown, the Lippin entrance is expecting some construction, so take the Comanche. We're going to have this trial streaming live from inside that courtroom on our 3 News Plus app. Continue to follow us on air and online. Lexis Greene.